Hey, tell that redhead bitch who always following behind No Limit. You trolling, bitch, that ain't in your hood. But go check on them, though, you goofy ass little boy. You know who I'm talking to. You want to be in comments and shit. You a bitch, little boy. You ain't did shit either. Redhead bitch, get in the comments and tell the motherfucker, that ain't nothing, y'all. He was just drunk. All right, cool. That's cool.
That ain't nothing, y'all. Y'all was just off.
While Lil Durk sits in federal custody facing life in prison, the crew he built is cracking from the inside. Two of his signed artists, YFG Fatso and Chuckyy, have gone from label mates to bitter enemies. And on top of that, an entirely separate situation has developed between Fatso and Bloodhound Q50 that hit in a way that most people in Chicago drill did not see coming. We are talking about baby mamas, viral videos, calculated trolling, and a beef that has moved well past music. Let's start from the beginning. YFG Fatso comes from Chicago's South Side, specifically 88 Block, also known as WAM Team, a neighborhood around 88th and Princeton. He is a BD affiliated with a crew called the Reapers, who also connect with Evans Mob. His name, short for Young Fly Guy, is more than a rap persona. It is what he represents every time he steps in front of a mic. He first started generating real buzz through the underground Chicago drill scene with his 2023 track Scarface, which turned heads quickly and proved he was the real thing. Support from notable figures like Chief Wook and DJ bands helped amplify his visibility and eventually connected him with industry circles. From there, the word-of-mouth reputation built on its own, the kind of credibility in Chicago drill that you cannot manufacture. Chuckyy comes from a completely different part of the city. He is from Altgeld Gardens on the far south side, one of Chicago's most isolated neighborhoods, an area with a long reputation built on poverty, limited resources, and generational hardship. Chuckyy claims bloodbath, and as his music started generating buzz, Lil Durk took notice. He eventually signed to Only the Family in partnership with Santa Ana Records. In April 2024, OTF officially signed both YFG Fatso and Chuckyy alongside a third artist, Lil King. On paper, it was a historic moment for Chicago drill's new generation. Lil Durk, the godfather of OTF, one of the most commercially successful drill artists to ever come out of Chicago, had put his stamp on three young artists who each represented something real about where the city was headed. It looked like they were all moving in the same direction. But in Chicago, being on the same label does not mean being on the same side. The divide between Fatso and Chuckyy has roots in street politics that go deeper than any recording contract. One of the central theories about how the fallout began involves Fatso allegedly getting cool with Risky Road while having friction with the Bloodhounds. The problem with that is that Chuckyy is closely aligned with Bloodhounds and No Limit, two camps that have long-standing issues with Risky Road. In Chicago drill, once you start linking with one side, the other side views you as opposition. It does not matter what label you are both on. Block loyalty runs deeper than any business relationship. And once that dynamic was established, the distance between Fatso and Chuckyy became bigger than anything OTF could hold together, especially with Durk no longer in the streets to keep things in check. Without the main face of the label around, old alliances and neighborhood tensions filled the vacuum. What had looked like a unified movement started to show its real fault lines. The situation crossed a point of no return when Chuckyy appeared to mock the death of Fatso's affiliate, a man the streets called Drills. In Chicago drill culture, dissing someone's fallen homie is one of the most serious violations there is. Once someone starts clowning a dead member of your crew, the beef moves past music entirely. That is what happened here. Fatso fired back with diss tracks and social media posts, making it explicit that the relationship between them was done. By this point, even if Lil Durk walked free tomorrow, there is no easy path back to these two men being under the same banner without serious work on both sides. Things got even messier when Fatso went live on social media and took direct shots at both Chuckyy and Mellow Bucks. The timing of the Mellow Bucks call-out made it especially controversial. She had just had a mass shooting occur at her album release party where multiple people were shot and 4 lives were lost. Instead of staying clear of the situation, Fatso put her name in the same sentence as Chuckyy, pulling her into the beef at the worst possible moment and widening the circle of conflict significantly. From that point forward, this was no longer just two OTF artists exchanging disses. It had grown into something with real stakes and real consequences. And then came the Q50 situation, which hit different. Bloodhound Q50 and YFG Fatso are known ops, rival camps with long-standing tension between them. Everyone in Chicago drill who follows the politics knows that. So when Q50 uploaded a video that appeared to show him spending time with the mother of Fatso's child and Fatso's daughter, the internet immediately understood what was being communicated. On the surface, the video looked relaxed, almost domestic, but when people looked closer and recognized who was in it, social media went into a frenzy. This was not read as a romantic coincidence. In drill culture, showing up around your ops family is not an accident. It is a statement. And filming it and putting it on the internet turns that statement into a broadcast. People across the city and across the fan base read it the same way. Q50 was letting Fatso know that nothing was untouchable, that he could move without consequence in spaces that were supposed to be protected. Q50 addressed the situation in a no-jumper interview shortly after and took a route that most people did not expect. He did not come in hot or try to be reckless about it. He came in calm and offered what he described as an innocent explanation. He said he met her at a grocery store, found her attractive, shot his shot, and had no idea she was Fatso's baby mother. He framed the whole thing as a coincidence that turned into something real. He also made a point about the child. He said it was about the kid being happy, not about Fatso or their beef. He brought up the situation where Steve Will Do It took 6ix9ine's children to Disneyland during a period when he and 6ix9ine were publicly at odds, suggesting his mindset was similar, that children should not suffer because of adult conflict. He positioned himself as someone focused on the kid's experience rather than the drama around it. But the streets did not buy a word of it. The most telling moment of that interview came when the conversation turned to the danger of the situation. The interviewer asked Q50 directly whether he was worried that the baby mother could be setting him up, using access to get him in a vulnerable position. Q50's response was ice cold. He said that if that were the case, people would already be posting "rest in peace." He was not worried about a setup because he said he would already be dead if that was what was happening. That line told you everything about how Q50 actually views the situation. It was not the answer of someone who stumbled into a coincidence at a grocery store. It was the answer of someone who had already thought through the angles, weighed the risk, and made a calculation. Whatever the real story is, Q50 knew exactly what territory he was stepping into. The streets read the whole thing the same way. You do not accidentally end up around your ops baby mama and then post the kid on social media. That is a deliberate move. It is designed to make Fatso look powerless in a space that is supposed to be off limits. And in a culture where control and respect are currency, that kind of move carries weight that goes way beyond any diss track. So here is where everything stands. Lil Durk is in federal custody awaiting trial on a RICO case that could send him away for life. The label he built, Only the Family, is navigating one of its most publicly turbulent stretches without its founder present to manage the relationships that hold it together. Fatso and Chuckyy are not just two artists who stopped getting along. They represent a fracture in the OTF structure along geographic and political lines that run deeper than music. And the Q50 situation has added a layer to Fatso's beef that takes it into territory that is almost impossible to de-escalate through songs and social media posts. Chicago drill has always been built on the idea that what you rep on the record is the same thing you rep in real life. That is the credibility that makes the music hit the way it does. But when the lines between the music and the streets blur this hard, the stakes stop being about chart positions and streaming numbers. The OTF story right now is not just about a label dealing with leadership being away. It is about what happens when the person keeping the peace is gone, and old street politics rush in to fill the space he left. What do you think happens with OTF if Durk does not come home? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this one.